When we talk about 10,000 hours, let's just interject right there and give you a debrief. 20 years, Defenders Entertainment. And as previously spoken up to this point, yes, he's collaborated with a lot of people. I mean, old to new. I mean, before we even started, we were getting into some Blade Rodney P.
That's
old as out there.
Yeah, like Freddy Krueger and...
So I thought we'd use this as a respite. This is a time to debrief, give a new audience a sense of clarity at this halfway milestone in an average, worker's career trajectory. You're at this beautiful halfway point. Tell us where it begun to be in the situation that you are now. And I ain't underplaying this. You watched the ride on this one. It's some serious conversations. Where did it all begin, Corey? Where did it start?
I was signed when I was 10. So, like, Universal, people going around to different schools in Brixton looking for kids that could rap and everything at the time. They wanted to make some music about them not destroying the ozone layer, like the whole climate change thing. We used to rap and do all this stuff at break time. Literally, before I knew it, I was in the studio at Soul to Soul Studios. Really great concept. The song was kind of shit, if I'm honest. But that was my first introduction because I'm on like Wackaday, I'm on Dance Energy.
Yeah. Hey, you got stars, sorry.
Yeah.
The influences were...
So I was there like proper, like kind of saw that pop world of it. And then, fast forward a few years of being like a naughty teenager and kind of living life and the rest of it.
Brixton?
Brixton and Stratton my whole life. Obviously when they're not away and stuff like that. And I kind of then started putting on events and like under 18s and started putting my money into raves. And then started then getting loads of artists and DJs them coming up to me. Then I started then investing in radio stations. And then from there now I'm like, okay, then you know what, I need to then get some of these artists in the studio. Bearing in mind, so I don't own a studio or nothing like that. So I'm just kind of hiring studio out for a couple of weeks and just said, okay, you know what, I'm going to start doing this label side of things. I just started ringing around anyone I knew that knew one of these rappers from different ends. Like, I swear, you know Rodney P, right? Yeah, you phone him and tell him, I'm coming into this rap thing, right? You know, Freddie, phone him and tell him I'm coming into this rap thing.
Hold tight, Freddie Krueger.
Yeah.
I just got work to that. I remember that when you talked about it before. I was like, Freddie!
Yeah, no, come on, man. He's a legend. People don't realise that he was doing them big American... collaborations.
Well, SAS as well.
SAS, come on, them lot was them signed with Dipset and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I saw them boys when I had too much signed with Mario Winans and Puffy them. I saw them boys that out in New York a couple times and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Them days, Professor Green and his boys, they was just doing jump off and battles and stuff. They wasn't. They was
early doors of that as well.
Yeah, they was Haunted House at the time. You know what I mean? Like I remember those days. So yeah, Defenders then started just as an underground label that wanted to give the kids studio time. And then before I know it, we're then hooked up with Jenny Francis. So shout out to her, because even Stormzy put her on the interlude of his album, because he grew up listening to her show every day. And if it wasn't for her really then introducing me to some people in the industry, giving me that constant airplay on her show every day and that exposure, I maybe wouldn't even have taken the music that serious, to be fair, because we wasn't making music to make money. We just wanted to just express how we was feeling. It was just the love of what we do. It wasn't that we thought, we're going to do this music thing. We was going and doing like bookings and radio every week on Deja and doing shows and that just to get heard. We just every Friday go to like Carnaby Street to do a real... You know what I mean? Do the little hip hop cypher on a Friday and stuff like that. Like, it was rammed right out onto the street and stuff like that, always and stuff like. And then times there, we had the other boys then with the hip hop shop round the corner, Dark and Cold.
Oh, unsung.
Listen, Dark and Cold
were it.
They connected UK and America, like the whole thing. Like, people forget Dark and Cold, that was the connect.
Before Junglist Movement and all the other brands.
Dark and Cold set this whole... That's what I said, I got the true narrative, because I was there. I saw what was happening the whole way through. So Dark and Cold, they started bringing over the American act, because that's when I got to like Buck, like 50 and Eminem and all them lot, where they're just happy to get little
shine on the
mic and little boom, come and do little shows. These ain't no mega stars or nothing like that. These are artists on their grind. And like, Dark and Cold, they was patterning up all of that then before anyone else, because them and a dude named Digger, he had a little publishing setup. He was the only one who was spending money on this hip hop thing. So yeah, Wild Pitch.
Wild Pitch.
Yes.
Mr. Bongos as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Black Market.
Yeah, exactly. Black Market and that. But them lot was them where they was capitalizing the drum and bass thing. Wild Pitch and them lot and Dark and Cold, they was investing in this hip hop thing.
They for me,
definitely them, and then Jump Off then came in and started them giving the B-boys them a shine.
Yeah. And then you got all the components that are active and all in the West End. They're all doing their thing.
Yeah, there was. The
clothing, the B-boy.
Yeah, there was. They all then that, but that's where it started. It wasn't a Shoreditch thing. This is a Carnaby Street movement that then started this UK hip hop thing. You know what I mean? So like literally, we was coming from north, south, east, and west, and coming to Carnaby Street. That was like the home of hip hop. That's where this sound then started. That's where Vice magazine had to put out their first issues. That's where
the little booklets,
yeah,
not the
the
big
little,
ones.
not the big one, the little booklets of Vice magazine and stuff.
You know.
So that's where this culture started in Carnaby Street.
Yeah.
Definitely.
When you say Wild Pitch, Rare Groove, and all these different,
And in West London and that, man, there was that place where Slick Rick and them lot performed. Subterraneum. Subterraneum, yeah. That's where then the hip hop and live started.
That was something I remember they used to do whenever a store had a party, like a 10-year anniversary, they'd go Subterranean.
Yeah, come on, it's just
ram out, like
but
busy.
it's just for that kind of musical culture. That was part of it, you know what I mean? So that's where, and then boy, we started doing mixtapes, putting on artists. The beginning, first like artists we was even then like always supporting all the artists around us. At that time, it's like SMS and PDC, and then every year or so, it's just the new sound from the streets. I guess that's so whatever the genre is, we've been then involved in that genre. And like in 2010, when they were saying that we're just urban, we then started the This Is compilation series.
Yeah,
where I'm like, this is UK rap, this is UK grime, this is dancehall, this is funky house, because they kind of were saying, everything's urban. And I'm like, no, like everything's not urban.
Clever little box packaging from the media.